Fulio got killed.
Yeah.
And 3 out of the 4 people that were arrested are facing the death penalty.
What state they in?
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. Florida will throw out the death penalty left and right.
In Texas.
Yeah. Well, especially for premeditated murder.
Yeah. But Texas kill you fast. The fastest.
Don't fuck around in Texas.
And guess look who was the governor of both of them states. The Bush brothers.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, remember George Bush was Texas and his brother was Florida.
Yeah. Not anymore, but
back in the time, and they kill a shit. That's the. I mean, Texas kill you fast. Texas kill you fast. I mean, what's I know it's a girl they're looking for from Chicago that's supposed to access somebody up. Did they catch her?
I'm not sure.
They don't like really like looking for her. She put a rap. I guess he was a rapper or something. She was at her house getting his hair braided or something. She called some people to come over there and they killed him. And then she skipped town.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But these kids, the stuff they doing is like on the internet, and then it's like they leave all the evidence, all the it's just they think prison is a game until they get there.
I mean, yeah, the girl who is charged with the murder of Fulio, she's actually pregnant at the time, so she's cooperating.
And she telling,
yeah,
she's still gonna probably do 30 years.
She asked for a speedy trial. The other 3, and there's actually one more person that's on the run, and one of the guys they caught, like. He was in his house with a gun to his head, saying he's gonna kill himself, and
he went to jail.
He didn't want to do it.
Because I mean, when you kill somebody that's famous and go to jail, you're gonna have to see some of their peoples.
Yeah,
that's from the rip. You go to jail and you gonna have to see their people. So like that part they ain't wasn't thinking about. You mean?
Well, the whole thing they're not thinking about. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, it doesn't mean just throwing their life away. And
it got ugly over the years because it's like one of the dudes that. Got killed. His brother was allegedly killed by Fulio's people, and Fulio like made songs dissing him and stuff like that. I think they
See, I never heard the guy Fulio music before. I just used to see him on like the trolling people and stuff.
No, listen,
he got shot before, right?
He got shot before. I interviewed him. We did 2 interviews with him. I did the interview myself, and then Shirley.
How old was he?
Did the second one. Man, he was like 25.
So it's almost like the young people feel
26.
The young people feel like they got to do stuff like that that can become popping.
Well, I mean, the problem is that when you look at the catalogs, his biggest songs are the ones where he's talking about smoking his enemies and, naming all these names. And look, like one of Fulio's people urinated on the grave of the brother of one of the guys that killed him. So there's a lot of really nasty disrespect. But at the end of the day, is it worth a murder?
When you're young, you don't think along those lines. You just think about like right now and today. You don't think about being C and D. You just think about. But when by the time they realize what they done, it's gonna be too late, and they're gonna be devastated when they got their life together. They in prison and they're never getting out. I see guys like that. That's 50, 60 got their life together. They religious. But they never getting out because something they did when they was 20. It's just like, but they can't tell kids nothing these days. They listen to their friends first. A person older than them don't know nothing. That's how they feel. So, but that's But if you making songs about people, family that got killed and all that, kind of almost gotta expect some type of retaliation. If you're young.
This is why when I get into it with people, if you noticed, I've got into it with a bunch of people over the years. Like Marlon Wayans is one of them.
But Marlon Wayans, that's the person you never have to worry about like somebody shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like me and Annalie Chopper were going back and forth.
Yeah.
But like, for example, like Marlon has one of his kids is transgender.
Yeah, I seen him talking about it. Yeah.
Notice I never said nothing about the kid. He was calling me ugly and making fun of my beard and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like.
So is it a girl it's a boy that's a girl?
It's a girl.
That's a boy?
I think it's a girl that's transitioning to a boy. Yeah, it looks like a girl that's transitioning into a boy.
Is it like a grown? Is it an adult? Because I heard him talking about saying something about
24.
Like adult. So he's supporting it and he like love it.
Yeah, it's a girl. Yeah, here we go. So there's a picture. Yeah, it's a girl that's transitioning into a boy. Look, like Marlon was saying a bunch of nasty shit about me, blah blah, and I fired back, and I basically called him gay, because when he said like I'm ugly, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you don't find me attractive. You should call yourself Marlon Gayans. Like, you got famous for dressing up like a woman.
You're trolling him.
Yeah, I was trolling him. But at no point did I say something about his transgender child.
Yeah.
Because I felt like
that's crossing the line. That's crossing the line.
That's crossing the line. That's his kid got nothing to do with our problem right now. You see what I'm saying? And that's just a low blow, and it's nasty. And that's where you really create some real lifelong enemies. Because I know when people talked about my family, you don't see them.
I see Wu-Tang got a son like that. One of the Wu-Tang members, I think, Ghostface.
What about?
Got his transgender, I think it's a...
Oh, okay.
Son, he was like...
Hey, man, listen, I feel for someone who has a transgender child and they have to deal with, you know what I'm saying, the way society looks at him, but that's still someone they love. And, you know, and they try to be a parent.
Or how the parent might look at him.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so forth. So it's like, no matter what Marlon was saying about me, and people were talking about his transgender kid in the comments.
The comments, people don't give a fuck in the comments.
But, you know, the comments were fucking ballistic. But at no point did I say anything about his trans kid, because I felt that would have been just dirty and nasty, and it wasn't really that serious.
Yeah, and then,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if like, I don't know, if he had like killed like my mom or something, then maybe I'd be like, I'd go jump out the window and just say the most disgusting things I could possibly say, because fuck him forever. But online trolling is really
Marlon Wayans is a person that's you gotta like. I mean, first he's funny. He not talk shit back.
Yeah.
So I mean, so you troll him. He professional talking shit back.
That's cool.
I mean, so like
I can hang with that.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Because I interview comedians. You know what I mean? I can hold my own against comedians. I'm not tripping. But at the end of the day, like I said, you know, if you keep it, if you try to just have a little bit of self-respect and don't fall into talking about dead people, talking about relatives, talking about kids, talking about parents, and you just, and I know that shit will get the biggest reaction, you know, because I remember like Boosie, him and Young Blue have been going at it over a money dispute, right? And Young Blue said something like, yeah, you know, go have your kids live in them raggedy ass houses that you have built in the back of your estate, something. And Boosie's like, oh, can you talk about my kids? He goes, well, yeah, well, what about your mentally disabled son, you know, who's drooling everywhere, blah, blah. And I'm like, when I interviewed him, I said, Boosie, you my man, but I felt that was over the line. He goes, you're right, it was. You know, I was mad because he talked about my kids, but me talking about his mentally disabled kid, that was wrong, and I apologize.
But he should have expected that from like Boosie, right? I could see him apologizing later, but I could see Boosie don't give like. I mean, saying that shit from the rip. At the end of the day, when you upset, you gonna say anything. I mean, from the rip. You mean, at least, but take a man to apologize though. I mean, because you easily be like, man, I ain't saying. I mean, but take a man to apologize.
It does, man. You know, listen, I apologized to Marlon. I said, you know something, man, this was. You know, I was an asshole and I overreacted. You know, my thing was I wanted to do an interview with him and he asked for $40,000 plus 30% of future revenue. And I just thought that was an insane number. And, you know, but then again, it was a private conversation that I decided to make public.
Maybe he just didn't want to do it.
He probably just didn't want to do it. And that's what I told him. I said, I'd rather just say you don't fuck with me than give me a number like that. And that's cool. You don't have to fuck with me. You know, and, you know, we had a conversation beforehand and I decided to be an asshole and jump out the window. But I publicly apologized. And I also texted him and personally apologized to him. And, you know, he never responded, but that's cool. People don't have to respond to your apologies. Your apology is there because you feel a certain type of way.
Yeah,
you shouldn't do it because you expect the person to say, okay, that's okay.
You do it to
if he accepts it, doesn't accept it, that's cool. I said what I said, and I stand behind it, and I stand behind my apology, and that's cool.
I see, and I was like, yo.
Yeah, life goes on, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I figured that if me and Dame Dash would have ever talked, I would apologize for my role in the dispute. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the way it even started, which is a little silly, was something that happened with Jay-Z at the time, and me and him were doing interviews at the time. I said, hey, do you want to do an interview about what Jay just said, blah, blah? And he was like, well, why would I talk about what another man does? I said, okay, that's cool. And then like a couple of days later, he does a video literally talking about that. And I'm like, well, why'd you tell me, no, blah, blah. And then that's when we started kind of arguing a little bit. But at the end of the day, he's allowed to do that. Who am I to question what he does on his own time? He could tell me I don't want to do it with you and I'm going to do it on my own. That's cool. So I overreacted and I would have apologized for that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and then I would have seen if he would have taken responsibility for some of the stuff that he did, like making that conversation public and so forth. But I can humble myself when I need to humble myself because, You know, nobody's ever in the right completely, and no one's ever in the wrong completely. It's how I look at life.
Sometimes people are in the wrong completely.
You're right. Sometimes people are. Most times, though, there is some level of
How people, the perspective.
yeah. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's a miscommunication.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like,
Pride.
when you said this bothered me. And it's like, well, I didn't mean it that way. What I meant was X, Y, and Z. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I get it.